What up and welcome to Rama Screen YouTube channel, and here's my review of Netflix new series, The Chosen One. Let's rock this. Okay, a bit of context. This show is based on Mark Millar's graphic novel, American Jesus, which I've never read before. Now, why the change of title, you ask? Well, for obvious reasons. They changed the setting from Chicago, which was in the comics, to now Mexico. And I'm assuming that anything other than the word Jesus might soften the blow for the rather uptight folks out there who might scream, "Blasphemy! Abomination! How dare you take the Lord's name in vain?" Jesus fucking Christ, right? But you know what? That's not even the first thing that crossed my mind when I screened these episodes. The first thing that I thought was, didn't Netflix already try this type of story before with that controversial short-lived Messiah? Remember that one? And on top of that, Mark Millar's previous adaptation was Jupiter's Legacy, which Netflix canceled without giving them a fighting chance. So to go from a smashing superhero action to a melancholic mystery drama with religious overtones like this, it's a really big gamble and one that I'm not sure will excite audiences. So Netflix only granted me the first 3 episodes, and I know it's not fair to judge an entire show based on just a few episodes. And I can't wait to watch the rest of the season. But for now, what's my overall verdict? The Chosen One is fascinating to say the least. It's definitely very somber, very atmospheric. The quote unquote miracles capture my interest and curiosity, but the show can also be a bit slow sometimes. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. The lead actor who plays the lead character, Jodie, however, doesn't completely have me sold. Half the time, he looks like he's either in a trance or he's smiling high as a kite. Maybe that's what Jodie is like in the comic books, so he's just following that. Or perhaps, hopefully, his performance will get fleshed out some more in the subsequent episodes. So we'll see. Having said all that, I think the decision to move the story to Mexico is smart, and I'll tell you why, so stick around. Directed by Everardo Gout, based on Mark Millar's American Jesus graphic novel. In The Chosen One, after surviving a freak accident, Jody, a 12-year-old boy from Santa Rosalia, Baja California Sur, discovers he is the returned Jesus Christ. He can turn water into wine, make the crippled walk, he can even raise the dead. How will he deal with his destiny and lead the world through a conflict that's been thousands of years in the making? Starring Bobby Lano, Diana Agron, Lilith Curiel, Juanito Anguamea, Jorge Javier Arbalo, Alberto Pérez-Jacome, Patricio Serna Meza, Carlos Bardem, Alfonso Dozal, Sofia Cisniega, Eileen Yanez, and Tenoch Huerta. Now, because the story is set in Mexico, the language used is mostly Spanish. Well, there's a bit of Spanglish every now and then, so it's a mix of both. And it's fascinating that even the gringos like Diana Agron and Bobby Lano can speak Espanol fluently. Now, I'm not sure if they had to learn it specifically just for the roles, but they sound great and they play it out to make it seem as if there were no language barriers between them and the locals. I know a lot of you are gonna watch this show because you are fans of Diana Agron from Glee series, and I admit, seeing her on The Chosen One surprises me. It's interesting. And good news, I can assure you that Diana does a pretty good job of playing Jodie's protective mama bear. That's all she does on these 3 episodes. We'll see how far her range will go and how much her character will risk herself to ensure Jodie's safety. But so far, Diana is not too shabby. Now, on to the reason why I think moving the setting to Mexico is brilliant. You see, I came from a developing country in Asia that's religiously conservative, so I understand the environment that is much like the rural parts of Mexico, where people, especially people of socioeconomic desperation, would easily believe anything that has to do with higher power. So, a story like this about the second coming of Christ would be more impactful to characters who are open to supernatural things, characters who are guided by blind faith as opposed to logic or reason. This whole show is a present day illustration of how things were back in Jesus' time, where a massive group of naive, simple, working class, poor people looked to his miracles for hope. And just like the stories in the Bible, the chosen one also seems to indicate that they have their own versions of the Pharisees and the religious public figures who are jealous and might be plotting violence against the Messiah. Again, it's hard to judge an entire show based on just 3 episodes, but I can tell you that The Chosen One is fascinating. Shooting the show on location in Mexico provides richness in color and diversity, and much of what you see here in terms of production designs are practical and real and authentic. It even includes the indigenous community Yaqui, which adds to the already stunning texture of the show when we see their tribal rituals and such. At the heart of the story is also a coming of age friendship where each of the kid is struggling with their own purpose, even more so for Jodie. There's a bit of love triangle, there's a bit of bullying, there's a bit of peer pressure, there's a bit of expectations versus uncertainties. And the show plays with a lot of striking imagery that are very philosophical in their nature. So, yeah, overall, I give The Chosen One the rating of 3.5 out of 5. This show has the potential to be great, but it all depends on its ability to hook the audiences in, and that remains to be seen. So that's it. That's my review of The Chosen One. Smash that like button. Share this video with everyone you know. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Let's rock this.